Hello, welcome to my bread making class. You need 200 grams of flour. Bread flour would be ideal, but if you don't have bread flour, use plain flour. A sachet of fast active yeast. But if you don't have yeast, you could make a different type of bread, which you'll see later on in the video. But if you do, that's great. Salt, pinch of salt or half a teaspoon of salt, and then 150 millilitres of warm water. Okay, so what you do is you combine together firstly the dry ingredients, that's the salt, the yeast, and of course the flour, and then you can start to slowly add your liquid. Do it slowly. Take your time. You've got a lot of time. So you stir it in. When you've stirred it all in, it might look a little bit sticky, but that's fine. Leave it for a while. Flour the tabletop and then put the bread on top of the flour, leave it for a little while, few minutes, and then you start to knead your bread. Knead it for a good 5 minutes until it's lovely and smooth, and then you can put it back into your bowl and cover it with damp cloth and leave it to prove for about half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, in a nice warm place so it doubles in size. Okay, and then you can take your bread, you can cut it into 6 maybe. You can make shapes from it or ordinary bread rolls. You could even make a loaf from it. And then the cooking instructions are going to be 180 degrees on a fan assisted oven. You could egg wash the top to make them nice and shiny when they come out. If you are making a flatbread recipe, so in other words no yeast, what you could do is cut them into even smaller sizes. Maybe you'd even be able to make 12 actually, and roll them out really, really thinly, and then fry them in a dry frying pan, not very, very small amount of oil, and then you just cook them. Don't overcook them because otherwise they'll go too crispy and hard. So they're floppy. And then if you cook 2 or an even number of them, you can put them back in the pan and then sprinkle some cheese on top, and then maybe some chili, other ingredients, maybe some mushrooms or something else. And then you put another flatbread on top, and then you cook them gently on both sides, and then you can take them out of the pan. The cheese would have stuck the 2 breads together, and then you cut them as if they're a pizza, and then you can serve them as quesadilla. Okay, so obviously you can make different shapes out of the bread. If you're making standard bread, you can do a plait, you can do different shapes, you can tie them in knots and make loaf, as I said, or anything like this is fine. But the main thing is have fun and enjoy it, and make sure you ask your parents' permission before you start making food in their kitchen. Okay, that's great. Thank you, bye.